This is Grapplers Talk.
What is up? Thank you to all the fans for downloading, listening to the podcast. We really appreciate you for supporting us each week. It's a passion of mine to be out here providing the best grappling content for you, and I'm excited to bring that to you today. I'm joined by a gentleman all the way from the quiet parts of the Idaho area,
Yes.
up in God's country, man. It's really beautiful
Right.
out there. And former UFC veteran, man. He's been all around the game, man. He's done it all. He runs an academy out here in Idaho. I'm welcomed today by none other than Austin Arnett. What is up, brother? How you doing?
Doing great, man. Thanks for having me on. It's a pleasure. I'm pumped to talk to you and hang out.
And I'm a martial arts nerd when it comes down to it.
Yeah.
Like I really like studying it, and I grew up on Bruce Lee, Chuck Norris, and all that
Right.
fun stuff. And I've just been a lifelong fan. I want to get into your initial journey into martial arts. How did you get introduced into it? What was your first experience like? And then we'll transition into grappling after that.
Yeah. Yeah. So my dad owned a martial arts school since 1982. And it was mostly when he first started, it was a karate-based school, karate and like American style kickboxing. So that was kind of my initial, as when I was born, as soon as I could start walking and stuff, I was in the dojo and training and learning karate and learning kickboxing, and mostly the striking arts is kind of where I started. And then as jiu-jitsu kind of became popular in the late 90s, my dad became intrigued by it. And started training and buying all the Gracie DVDs and became interested in jiu-jitsu. So then he started kind of, there wasn't anybody out here to train with. Nobody was really doing it. So he would travel around to seminars, would go to Pedro Seauer seminars in like Utah and stuff, would go to San Francisco and train with the Gracies out there, and just kind of trying to get what he could and then bring it back and train with his students. And that's kind of where we started kind of getting into jiu-jitsu and also MMA at the same time. And then the early 2000s, more amateur MMA kind of became a thing. And he started training fighters and myself specifically for mixed martial arts. And in the mid 2000s, when I took my first MMA fight when I was 15, and then it just kind of blossomed from there. And then here we are now.
Yeah. It's crazy because if you really think about it, like if you were into martial arts, you really had no big avenue to make money. Like you had to sell like
No.
DVDs or do like
Right.
these crazy seminars or try to be an actor. Like that was, you had to
Right.
get into
Yeah.
acting. But the
Right.
UFC like allowed the true martial artists to get out there and showcase their skills to the world. And
Right.
without the UFC, like I mean, we really don't have all of these martial artists doing anything.
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
they're
So
kind of
true.
confined to their gym.
Yeah.
So, talk about getting into MMA and like what caused you, like what gave you the itch? Like what was it that was driving you to want to go in there at 15 years old? That's a really young age, and
Yeah.
that's getting into it pretty early too. So talk about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it was kind of so like I just did martial arts my whole life. And it's kind of it was my life. It's all I did, After school, I was at the dojo, I was training, and that's kind of all I knew. And I did a lot of karate tournaments and full contact karate tournaments as a kid. And then I was training MMA with the MMA team my dad had started. And it was about a month out. It was in the summertime, and my dad just told me, he's like, "Hey, I got you a fight in Yakima, Washington. It's like 4 hours from here. He's like, I got you a fight in Yakima, Washington on July, whatever it was. So that'll be your first fight." And I was like, kind of took him back. So I didn't really choose it. He just kind of told me I was doing it. And my dad is like someone like when he told me to do something, it was like, that's just it. You just do whatever dad says. Like there's no questions. You don't ask anything back. You just do what he tells you to do. So he just
Right.
told me that's what I was doing. And that's what I was doing in July that summer. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, and then I did the fight, knocked out the guy in the second round. And then I was like hooked. So going into it, I was like pretty nervous, pretty scared, didn't really know what I was getting into. And then I won, and it did good, had good success, and knocked the guy out. And I was like, man, this is badass. I'm in. And
That's
then from
that's
from there,
almost
I
too
was like hooked.
dangerous,
I
man.
know, I know, I know. From there, I was just hooked, and I was all in. But yeah, the first one, it wasn't my choice. I wasn't like telling my dad, I want to fight, I need to fight. He just kind of put me in it, and then we were off and running from there.
Yeah. So talk about your journey to the UFC. Austin.
Yeah.
And how did you build up your record? Like, I mean, who was doing most of your management work when you decided to go pro, and
Yeah.
how was that journey along the way?
Yeah, I mean, my dad was basically my manager those early on days, just getting me fights as I turned pro, casino shows and whatnot around here in the Northwest. And then I linked up with Rick Little and Sick Jitsu Fight Team, which is where like Mike Chiesa trains and Sam Cecilia back in the day. And now there's like Brady Heaston who's in the UFC, and they had a lot of UFC fighters come out of there. So I kind of got linked up with them because they're about 2 hours from where we are.
Okay.
And so I was doing a lot of cross training. I'm going up there to Spokane and training, and Rick had a lot of connections and was able to kind of help set up some bigger fights for me. I remember getting on UFC Fight Pass card, Titan FC or something, which was pretty big at the time. Getting on Fight Pass is kind of, even now today, as you're building up, getting on Fight Pass is kind of what you want. And so I was able to get a fight on there and win that fight, and then go back kind of the casino shows and win some more, and built up a pretty good record and a pretty good name for myself. And then the Contender Series, the first season of that was coming out, and I had a pretty good record. I think I was like 14-3 or something like that. And so Contender Series was out, and we put my name into the hat. And I was able to get signed to the Contender Series, and that's kind of where I was able to showcase myself and really get my name out there and get into the UFC from there.
Yeah. For my listeners that aren't from Idaho, and I got a lot of California people,
Right.
and people all over the country, and it's a little bit different everywhere you're at, but not, I mean, here in Stockton, there's like 12, 15 places to train just in Stockton, you
Right.
know, like
Yeah.
it's huge, but like in Idaho and in Washington, it's not as big. Like, I mean, you got to drive a little bit further to get that training in.
Yeah.
And it can be difficult at times.
Yeah.
But you built a good relationship with the right people. You got the right fights to get your name built up.
Yeah.
You've cornered Mike Chiesa quite a bit, and you've always kind of been there for each other. Both of you guys are like road dogs, it seems like.
Yeah. Yeah. We're best friends, man. Like, he's helped me a ton, and I like to think that I've helped him in turn as well. But he was he was super helpful. He's always like a guy that's, anytime I have a fight, like, it doesn't matter. I fought in Abu Dhabi multiple times. Like, he's there with me. He's going.
Yeah.
And the same thing with him when he's fighting in Abu Dhabi or anywhere. Like, he's fighting in Atlanta next month, I'll be down there cornering him for that. We just became really, really close from training together, helping each other out, and we just created a bond and kind of this like us against the world kind of thing. And we're always going to be there for each other. And no matter where it is or what we're doing, like, we are just, kind of road dogs, like you said.
Yeah.
And he's been super helpful for me, and not just like in learning martial arts and growing my skills, but just like being someone that's behind you and backing you no matter what, even in the losses and the wins. Like, we don't waver. We're just still there for each other. So it's been a really helpful relationship through fighting and through martial arts. Yeah.
That's important to have someone there, and you've always had a great team with your dad and guys like Mike Chiesa and Rick Little and the people you've named off. That is what defines you as a fighter, especially in those early days. But I really want to talk about, like, especially somebody like you, like, what was it like experiencing those first couple losses, and how did you recover and bounce back? And that's something people don't talk about enough, right? Everyone hears the highs, and sometimes we need to know what to go through, right? Or at least to talk about it.
Yeah. No, it's tough, man. I mean, losing like in anything, it's just, it's tough, and it can wear on you mentally. It can make you question yourself, question if you're doing the right things, questioning if you're good enough to compete at certain levels. It can bring a lot of self-doubt into your mind. I'm a pretty confident person. I never really got down on myself, honestly. Even in the UFC, going through some losses and stuff, I always felt like I was just like right there. Like, and in most of my losses, like, I wasn't getting like blown out. It was like just a little thing here, a little thing there, position.
Minor
I lost
adjustments,
here.
right?
Yeah. And it just always felt like I was just like right there. And I always just felt like I was going to break through on the next one. I tried to just, I don't know, be almost delusional sometimes. And like, you kind of have to be a little bit delusional in the sport. If you have doubt, like, going into a fight, you're screwed, man. Like, it's not going to go good. So you have to have like this delusion to where, like, you're the best, you're going to beat everybody in the world. And I feel like I always kind of had that. And I still feel like I do right now. I feel like I go in the UFC and smoke dudes right now. So,
you got to, though.
And you just kind of have to have this confidence and this unbreakable spirit. And I just never really had a problem with getting down on myself. I just always, every fight, man, I just feel like, God damn it. And just this one little thing, I switched that. I'm winning that fight easy. I'm finishing that guy there. And so I just kind of always looked at it like that. And maybe that wasn't always the case, but that's how I felt about him. And I guess that's all that really matters is how you feel about it. So that's kind of how I always took the losses. I would be down for a little bit. Obviously, you're upset, you're down, but I just always had this, like, I'm going to turn it in the next fight. Like, I'm going to turn it in the next fight. Don't care. This next fight, I'm going to make the adjustment. I'll be fine. And that's kind of how I always looked at it.
Yeah. It's important, too many people get down on themselves, start to get doubt in their careers. Like you see one loss turn into like, a string of losses.
Yeah.
So it's important to learn how to bounce back and even to be around guys that are in the big leagues and you see them bounce back and you're like, okay, it's not so bad. Right.
Yeah.
One loss isn't going to define me.
Right. And I think like training with the guys that I've always trained with, I've trained with, top UFC fighters. I've, gone to Vegas and trained a ton down there and the big gyms down there with the tons of, and I always just had like a lot of success and felt really good in the room with everybody I've gone with. And so that I think helped too. It's like, I know I can compete with these guys. Yeah. I know where I'm at. I know that I can do this. And I think I always kind of like relayed back to that a little bit. Like, man, you are this level, you are at this level. And you can tell in a training room, how it is. Like you're going with guys, you can tell like if you're like, shit, dude, I'm not even close, man. Like this, holy shit. Like I'm so far off. And I never felt like that. I always felt like I was right there and can compete with everybody that was in my division and in the UFC and stuff. And so I think that helped a little bit with the confidence also. It's like, man, I'm doing this in the training room. I just need to make this happen in the fight now. So that kind of helped a little bit too, I think. With my confidence after losses.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's huge. You definitely got to go in with the same type of attitude. Like that unwavering belief in yourself you were talking about. Like you got to get back on the horse and really believe. That's what it's all about.
100%.
So a few years back, you linked up with a good buddy of mine that moved out to Idaho, and you put together a little podcast. Talk about how that got started and the fun times with that. I was a huge fan of Seeing Red. I wish it would come back. I know. I'm waiting for it. I'm just knowing you guys are going to release one soon. So
I know, dude. Dude, it was so much fun. It just kind of happened. Like Chad is kind of into the, obviously he loves the podcast, and Chad Damerals, who we're talking about, he's into it and he has the whole setup and everything. And he's kind of like mentioned, dude, we should do like a little podcast. Yeah, I got the whole setup. We can we kind of talked about it for a while. Then finally we were like, all right, let's do it. So we started doing it, and dude, ton of fun. Like it was a blast. Like, and we were just on such the early stages. Like we didn't have a lot of listeners or anything. We are just trying to get it going and getting off the ground. But we were having a blast doing it every time and throwing back some drinks and just hanging out and BSing about it, dude. It was a blast. And then we just both got so damn busy, man. And just so busy with our, he's got his business he's running full time. He's got his family. I got my business and fighting and everything, and my family too. And it was just kind of like fell off. How it is, like you miss a week. Then you miss 2 weeks, and then you miss 3 weeks, and then you're just out of it. And then you're completely, then you're just not doing it anymore. And that's kind of what happened. It wasn't like a intentional decision. It was like, oh, I can't do it this week. Oh, me either. I'm gone. Oh, shoot. Oh, next week, no. And then it was just like, that was it.
That's what happens.
Dude, I know. And it is like, it's, as you know, probably like it's consistency is huge. Like you have to be consistent. You can't miss, just like martial arts too. Consistency is everything. And even just getting reps, being on the podcast, like talking, like you get better the more you do it. And then you obviously build up your listeners. The more you do it, the more consistent you are. And so we kind of lost that, but dude, we'll get it back. We'll get our lives under control so where we can start doing it again. But no, it's definitely something I want to get back going with him. And we will get it back one day for sure.
Yeah. Seeing Red. If you haven't listened to it, it's probably still out there somewhere. Go download it, tune in. It's an awesome podcast. I definitely am hoping it comes back soon. But before the show, we were talking a little bit, and we were talking about how active you still are even to this day. And talk about that. Your last fight was in January. You're pretty much always down to fight, right? Like,
yeah, man. It's kind of all just like opportunity and timing is just kind of where I'm at. Like, I don't have to fight anymore. Like, I have a good business, I have a good life. I just do it at this point because I love it. And when I kind of get some timing works out, an opportunity comes up and it just works out like that, then I'm down to jump into a fight. And every once in a while that kind of lines up, and I'm always training. Like I teach all my classes, but I train in all of them too. I'm sparring every sparring day. I'm sparring with all the guys, grappling classes. I'm grappling. I'm doing all the rounds too. So like I'm always in good shape and always training. So that helps being able to jump on stuff also. There's a couple like things like I would like to do, like karate combat is something that I want to test. I want to get into. So
I think that's right up your alley, man.
Yeah, yeah. So if that works out at some point, karate combat something. And then the other thing is I want to fight for Ryzen over in Japan. Those are like the two like bucket list things I kind of have left on my like career. So staying a little bit active for hoping one of those pops up is kind of what I'm doing right now. I want to fight in Japan for Ryzen because that's basically the pride of nowadays, you know.
Yeah, modern day pride.
One of those New Year's Eve cards, dude. Oh my God, it's a dream.
Yeah.
So that, and then a karate combat is kind of like where my head's at and what I'm looking at for like future and something I want to do before I'm completely done.
Yeah, that's pretty badass. But talk to my listeners a little bit about what it's like fighting overseas. A lot of people haven't experienced that.
Yeah.
Just the trip to Abu Dhabi alone is a long ass flight. What did you experience when you traveled over there?
Yeah, so I've done a lot of, so in the UFC, I fought in Australia and Argentina were two of my fights in the UFC. So those are also similar to Abu Dhabi. Then I fought a couple times in Abu Dhabi also. So I've had a lot of overseas. I got better the more I did it. I kind of learned a few tricks, timing yourself with your sleep, how to readjust once you get there. First couple times it was brutal, and I just never like got switched back on. The Australian one was really tough. I just felt like I was like in a fog all the way to the fight, and then just felt like I never could like snap out of that really. But like the last Abu Dhabi one, I felt like I finally got it dialed in on how to like when to get over, how to adjust my sleep as quick as I can, and then how to get back going and get switched back on, and how to shake out that flight. So that last one that last one I won in Abu Dhabi, I felt like I really kind of figured it out. But I'm not trying to do those anymore. Dude, they're brutal. It's like 20-hour flights. And then the time difference is like 12 or 13 hours. So like just complete opposite of what you're on over here. And it's just like, it sucks.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's not easy.
Yeah. I couldn't even imagine.
You're cutting weight on top of it too. So it's just like, it sucks. It's not fun.
Yeah, no, it definitely like, I mean, I like those embeds where they were during the pandemic when they were going over to Fight Island and stuff. And you actually seen those long flights and the guys, you know, getting over to Abu Dhabi 2 weeks in advance or 3 weeks in advance. Guys like Connor camping out there and you know,
I mean, like, that's ideal if I could afford and have the luxury to like leave my gym and everything for that long. Yeah. Dude, I mean, like, it'd be way easier if I could do all that.
Yeah, no, it's pretty insane, but that's pretty cool. Like, I mean, looking back, like, I mean, when you can't even fight anymore, right? You're going to be able to say, hey, I've been able to travel all over the world. Like, you're a true martial artist. Like, you've traveled all over the world and you've tested yourself. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah. And it's just fighting's given me so much opportunity to experience the world. Like, I mean, I've been everywhere. Like, it's so cool. The places that I never, like as a kid, dude, I never thought I would have been. So total, I've been to Dubai and Abu Dhabi 5 times now between my fights and Mike's fights. Wow. So it's like never in my life would I think that I was going to be in Dubai once in my life. And I've done it like 5 times now. So it's just like so many cool opportunities have come of it. And I've been to South Korea for Sam Cecilia's fight over there. I mean, I've been to Hawaii for Sam's fights. I've been to Australia, Argentina for mine. Like, dude, just got to experience so much stuff. It's been pretty awesome.
Now something I know from talking to Chad and I remember back in the day on Seeing Red, you guys would mention it, but like the corner environment when you guys are in the room and hanging out, like what is it like? What are the vibes like? Are you guys constantly sparring or are you guys just chilling playing video games?
Yeah, so you're talking about like fight night, like you're in the back?
Like, I mean, maybe even a couple days before too, right? Just getting
pretty
used
chill.
to the scene.
Like, dude, they're pretty. Honestly, it's pretty boring. Like, because like one, you're sucking weight, or your buddy's sucking weight. One of you is, so they're kind of like low energy already. So it's like you're trying to get through like 2 training sessions probably in a day, and you're basically using all of your energy to get through those 2 training sessions, and then you just want to like chill. So a lot of video games. We usually bring the Nintendo Switch with us, play a ton of Mario Kart, play a ton of like Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
We do a bunch of that. So it's like a lot of video games, a lot of chilling, a lot of
Yeah.
chilling. We
Keeping
try
it
to
keeping
like,
it light.
yeah, and then try to experience the city a little bit, get out, walk around, go check out some of the stuff wherever city you're in. But it is a lot more boring than I think people would expect. Like just a lot of downtime, a lot of
Yeah.
downtime.
Oh yeah. Do you foresee yourself doing any like major jujitsu competitions or anything like that in the future as jujitsu
Yeah,
rises as a sport?
yeah. There is one promotion up here in Spokane, Washington. It's called the Spokane Submission Series. They might have just changed the name, but they do professional grappling matches. So they pay grapplers. So they do like a tournament, like a kids tournament, adult tournament, and everything. And then the evening they do like 10 match, like a jiu-jitsu show basically. And now they do it in a pit. So they got a pit and everything they do
I've
it in.
seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. I did one of those about a year ago now, and I won that one. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, it was fun training for it. Just really like specifically just going grappling, doing no striking, just doing grappling every day, which was different for me, and just solely focusing on grappling. So that was a lot of fun. And I did one of those, and I might do a couple more of those ones there. And then I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. But that one's kind of nice because it's only a couple hours away, and it's on Flow Grappling now.
Yeah.
So it's starting to build up a little bit and get some traction. So that's pretty cool. We got something like that around here.
Would you I mean, somebody like you, who's experienced in striking and stuff like that, would you consider even a combat jujitsu like type of
Yeah, that would be
career?
fun. That would be fun. I would like to try one of those. Yeah, I'm open to like everything. I've done
Yeah.
professional boxing. Um, I guess I did a professional grappling match with that. I've also done professional MMA fighting. So like the more things that I can like put myself in, like
Yeah.
I'm for. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
it.
So one of the fighting the grappling fights ones would be cool. I'd be into that.
Yeah. I just want to get into a couple more things before we wrap it up. I know you're on
Yeah.
limited time. You're in between classes too, so
In
Austin's
between,
taking the
yeah.
time.
Yeah,
But
yeah. You're good, man.
no, real quick, I just want to talk about your fight promotion. How originally did that start, and where's the Heartbeat at today, and what events do you have coming up?
Yeah, so this started, my dad actually started the promotions in 2007. I think it was when he did his first show. So he started doing them in 2007 here in the Valley in Lewiston. And then the casino, the local casino here was like, hey, he was starting to build up a pretty good name, putting on his own shows. They like, we want to bring you in, start doing shows at the casino. So he started doing those in like 2008, 2009. And he did them all the way up until he passed in 2020. And then when he passed, obviously I just kind of took over that. We did a little bit of rebranding, changed the name of it and stuff, and did a little bit, some things different, but it's hotter than it's ever been. So we do 2 to 3 shows a year out there, and everyone sells out. 1,600 people.
Wow.
People just get stopped. I mean, we could sell a couple thousand easy because people are at the door turned away because they're out of tickets. So it sells out every single time we've had one since we started doing them again in 2021, I think 2022 maybe after COVID. We probably had like 10 events. Every one of them sold out, and it's super hot right here in the Valley. We have our team's pretty deep right now. We have a lot of pro fighters, a lot of amateur fighters, and pretty high level guys. And so they've created a big following here in the Valley. And yeah, so the promotion game's pretty hot right here right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You also have a very good Dana White type of clarity when you're talking about the fights. And I mean, dude, you get people amped up for them. Like, I didn't know any of these guys. Like, and I watched one of your videos and I'm like looking them all up, and
That's
I mean, it was
awesome. That's what
amazing.
I
You
like.
did so well with that, man. You got to have that personality to be able to do that, right?
Yeah, you got to be outgoing, get out of your own skin, and you got to get people excited. They don't know what a lot of people, local shows, they know who they're going to watch, but there also is a ton of people that are going to go that don't know anybody, and so
Yeah.
you got to give them reason to care about these guys. So you got to kind of tell them about them and give them a story and tell them why this guy's really good and you need to watch him, and gets everybody kind of invested.
Yeah.
Because people want to go to watch because they care about something.
Right.
People will go and just watch guys fight, random guys, but it's a lot more fun when you know somebody or you've heard about somebody and they have kind of like this aura that you're like, man, I got to see this guy fight. So the more you can get that out there, I think the more interest it builds up.
Yeah, no, it's definitely you're 100%, man. I remember back in the day waiting in fight lines and stuff like that, and everybody, you know, they knew somebody fighting or their cousin was on the card, and it really changes, you know, how you look at those fights. You're excited, like it's a real big deal for you. But in wrapping this thing up, Austin, I just want to talk about where do you see the future? Where do you see your gym going? Where do you see your fight promotion going? What do you want to do?
Yeah. With the gym, man, it's just, hopefully expanding one day. Like we're getting to we have like with kids and everything, we have like 320 members right now. So we're getting close to capacity, and I'm trying to push it to that point to where then we need to expand and add on another floor. And the biggest thing with that is making sure you have enough instructors to be able to facilitate, because I can't teach every class, obviously. And if there's 2 mass spaces, 2 classes going on at once, I can't teach both of them. So one big thing is developing instructors. And that's part of being a good instructor, I think, is you're not just teaching students to be good grapplers, but you're also teaching the higher belts how to become good instructors also, so they can teach classes and they can run their own program also. And we're doing a pretty good job with that. Right now, we have a couple of jiu-jitsu instructors, a couple of MMA instructors, and then we're starting a new a guy that just got his purple belt with us is going to start his own 6 a.m. class here in June. So he's going to be starting a class. So trying to kind of, you know, do that, develop instructors also as you're developing good jiu-jitsu athletes is something I've been trying to do and work towards, so we can expand and we can get more people in here and do more with it. So that's kind of where the gym's at right now. MMA promotion, trying to get more every year, trying to push the casino to get us to do some more events. And then what I'm trying to do with our show basically is develop talent to get to that next step, which I think the next step from like a pro on our show is getting to like a fight pass. Yeah. So trying to build these guys up to good fighters, good records, and then they're able to get picked up to a UFC fight pass show. So that's kind of what my idea of what I'm trying to do is turn amateurs into pros, turn the pros we have on our cards into UFC fight pass pros, who hopefully eventually turns into UFC fighters. And that's kind of like what I'm trying to do with the athletes that we have on our shows.
Yeah, it makes sense though, because you've been there. You know, you know what it takes, right? And you kind of did it the hard way. So you're going to help these guys get up there and do it the right way. But you're doing amazing things, man. And I really appreciate your time and taking it out and being a part of this.
Dude, thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, man. I always like to give our guests just a couple minutes, just give any shout outs, anything like that. If we want to train with you, how do we find you on Instagram? All that fun stuff. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. So social media, like on Instagram or on Facebook, Arnett's Martial Arts America. You can find us just typing in that on Facebook and Instagram. We're pretty active on both those. We're in Lewiston, Idaho, just down south a little bit from Spokane, Washington. So if anybody's in the area ever and wants to come in and train with us, we're always happy to have anybody in. So that's shout out to everybody that helps me with this gym here. All my instructors, Dave Pearson is one of our black belts instructor. He's awesome.
Not me.
A lot of fun. Yeah, different Dave Pearson. I thought it was funny. Chad has a funny story. He was like, forget exactly how it went. Basically, he was talking shit like about you to somebody and saying like Dave Pearson, and then other Dave Pearson heard it, and he thinks that he was like pissed at him. He has a point. You have to ask him about it if he hasn't told you about it. But to our instructors, Dave, and all the other guys that help out and helping grow our team and giving back to the gym, I'm very thankful for, man.
Yeah. We thank you very much, Austin, for being a part of this episode of Grapplers Talk. Don't forget to download us. We're on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, anywhere where you get your podcasts. Check us out. Subscribe to all of our channels. This has been another awesome episode of Grapplers Talk. This is Dave, and we are...
This is Grapplers Talk.